What up? Today I just want to quickly touch on a really quick little topic, which is may or may not impact your decisions with regards to the upcoming devs listen moment, as y'all can see right here. Not this one. We are going to be getting the free reset literally tomorrow. Before you guys go ahead and log into the first free reset, and then if you guys really want to reset, there's 2 more reset after this. After I literally saved the game, by the way. After I literally saved this game, I saved Etheria reset. I can check out the video. I just want to quickly touch on this topic, which is gonna be one of the animals that seems to be like sort of like stemming this entire discussion as to why people should be getting their free resets. Aside from the bug fixes to Saida as well as Veronica, mainly stems from this unit, right? Sania of the Vengeful Thorn. She is essentially the Kafka of this game, right? She is the enabler for pretty much the DOT team comps, and ever since the big hoo-ha with the whole Aurora getting the immunity from DOT and everything, people felt that, she's unplayable, she's trash, she's mid, and you guys should probably gonna reset her for something else, right? So if you take a look at our current Hell 4 Aurora clears, not a single team is making use of DOT because of the changes done to Aurora, and previously Sania was actually super good in Aurora, right? But before the Shadow Sania users go ahead and get their resets, I just quickly want to point out this thing. If you take a look into the roster of your units, right? So this is a free-to-play account, right? This is a free-to-play account. If you take a look into the roster of your units right here, you will notice there's one common thing amongst pretty much most players' accounts. There's something in common. You are most likely running either D-Ting as your main DPS, or you are going to be running things like Rosa, your real Mocha, right? Where's your real Mocha? Maybe you slap on a couple of other DPS like your Messiah here and there. But generally speaking, almost every single player in this game, you guys have been running crit DPS. I myself included, because I literally do not have Shadow Sania, right? Well, here's the thing, chat. I want to bring your attention to this domain right here. Nico, Nana, Inferno. Everyone is focused on clearing Hell 4 or Inferno threshold. This was the benchmark for your endgame, right? This was the benchmark for your endgame, whether you can clear Hell 4 Termaton, Hell 4 Doki Doki, as well as your Hell 4 Aurora, right? Which is where the majority of the early game team building is revolving around. To build up a team as fast and as efficient as possible to tackle on, most of the case going to be Doki Doki, because she has the lowest barrier to entry, right? You select pick your Ramoka, getting your debuffers like Claws or D-Ting, slap on your Kazuya, which is a free unit, and then you can get stuff like, your free sustain, your Ling Luo, you can run your Valerian. So Doki Doki is one of the easiest barrier to entry, and then from there, making use of the relics you obtain over here, you then pivot back into other different teams to explore into Termaton maybe, and then you build into your Grim Pursuit, your everything else. So that is generally how the progression goes, right? And because of the changes made to Shadow Sania, where she is now no longer an effective DPS or even DOT as an entire team comp for Aurora, players feel like, there's no point using her anymore, right? Because, you can't even use her in the end game content. That is gonna be your threshold farming. If you take a look into your Nico Nana Inferno difficulty, so this just got cleared, I believe, yesterday when people started attempting Nico Nana Inferno, right? I was under the false pretense or expectation, because my initial plan was to slowly and steadily farm my way towards level 50, and I'm gonna do my Nico Nana Inferno before my Threshold Inferno. Because I was thinking about, because if you take a look at your early game progression, right? You progress from your shell first, and then making use of your shells, you then pivot back into modules. So I thought a similar situation will apply here, because Inferno allows you to drop the triple matrix, right? It allows you to unlock the triple set matrix, as well as this super, very important 6 pieces. So I was thinking, okay, once I hit level 50, I'm gonna go ahead and farm all into Nico Nana Inferno, and then once I got enough amount of shells for all of my main DPS and supports, I can then pivot back into having an easier time farming Inferno Shell difficulty. Holy shit, I am clueless. It turns out the Inferno difficulty of Nico Nana, I'm not sure if this was the same compared to CBT. Maybe they made the difficulty even harder. But if you take a look into the clears here, every single team I think except for one team, every single team in Nico, Nana, Inferno was done exclusively with Sania. There was literally not a single Rosa team that made it within the clear time. And if you take a look even at recent clears, almost every single clear that was done in Nico, Nana, Inferno, they were all exclusively done with Shadow Sania. I think I saw one single guy that cleared it without Shadow Sania. So this guy. I think I'm a person, this was the only run in the entire server of Inferno that actually cleared this without Shadow Sania. On top of, having the most bastard unit in the entire game, right? So, my point is this. Shadow Sania, while not being an effective team comp anymore in Aurora, it doesn't really necessarily remove her from your farming PvE endgame, because you can see every single clear, pretty much every single clear in a domain that is literally fire element is not even using a blue DPS, except for that one guy. Every single team here, they were done using Shadow Sania because the entire mechanic of DOT is doing percentage max HP damage, right? This was the entire. So if you just take a look into one of the runs, right? I'm just gonna go into like some randomized run. Okay, let's just take a look at example over here. Alright, so this is one of the sample runs. So it's making use of Shadow Sania plus Lily. And then you essentially slap on DOT after DOT after DOT after DOT. Because the mechanic with this entire fight is as long as you have a lot of action value delays and you just keep slapping on more and more and more DOTs, you are eventually going to do so much damage to the boss where you essentially don't really have to give a damn about the crit damage or like the elemental damage against this boss. You can see he has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stacks of DOT, and that is instantly half of his HP gone just like that. Half HP from a single tick. So Shadow Sania is gonna keep continuously proccing all this with the combination of Lily, right? This one we're gonna go back to 7 stacks again, and then now it's at 1/4 HP. Right, now it's at 1/4 HP. So because of Lily giving us additional attacks with Sania, constantly applying DOT, by the time the next time this DOT procs, he's dead. Right, after this thing procs, boom, adios. Using the mechanics of DOT, it quite literally bypasses the entire elemental system because they are dealing percentage max HP as their entire damage multiplier. This is not just the case for Nico Nana. This is also the case for Shadow Flame Hoyan Inferno. You can take a look at the Shadow Flame Hoyan Inferno. All of the clears were exclusively done with Shadow Sania. Every single goddamn clear here, they were done using Shadow Sania, Lily, Shadow Sania, Lily, Shadow Sania, Lily, Shadow Sania, Lily. Every single team was done with Shadow Sania, Lily. Now, I'm not saying that this is gonna be what's it looking like for your account, because technically, to be fair, these are mostly gonna be whales that did max refresh, spend their Sania potions, and get here as fast as possible. So maybe this thing might change going forward into the future when we see more developments. But at least you can know for a fact that if you did in fact raise up Shadow Sania, you can see some of these Shadow Sanias, they weren't even 6 stars. Right, they weren't even 6 stars. Even at 5 star, she's sort of pulling the work. This is literally done with only a level 5 basic. 511, right? 511. This was done with 511. This was done with, what is this? Right, 511. Not a crazy amount of letters investment. Basically, only 4, right? And I'm pretty sure Rengoku, maybe you can use him as well. For Sharon Inferno, we actually see a lot more different variations. Never mind, it's just one guy. There's only a single clear in the entire server for Sharon. Most people should be farming Nico Nana as well as Sharon. But my point is this, right? Dark Sanya's use, while she might no longer be as relatable, as useful in Doki Doki as well as Aurora, her usage in farming Inferno Shell is absolutely insane. Not only that, even for Terramaton Hell 4 and Inferno, you can still see Shadow Sanias being used as a clear. So that is, like, I would say more than 50% of all endgame content in the game right now. And here is my tinfoil hat theory. Right, here is my tinfoil hat theory. Shadow Sania herself, she didn't get a nerf. Her kit is completely unchanged. The only thing that changed with Shadow Sania from CBT to the actual live server is that they made Aurora immune to DOT. My guess, my tinfoil hat, is they didn't want Shadow Sania to be just completely game breaking, because if they didn't make Aurora immune to DOT, right, a player can literally just run Shadow Sania and clear every single endgame PV farming stage with the exception to Doki Doki, because that's against mod based content, right? So in order to like sort of put a band-aid to the whole DOT balancing, they made her immune such that people think Shadow Sania might not be that strong anymore. But when in reality, every other team outside of Aurora, people are still gonna be using Shadow Sania. It is exactly unchanged compared to CBT because percentage max HP as the DOT is just that broken, especially when Inferno difficulty of your shell farming stage right now, it is so much more difficult compared to Inferno Doki Doki or Inferno Termaton. You literally almost cannot get a clear unless you run DOT. At least in the time being for now. Maybe things will change going forward a couple of months later when people build more crit DPS gears, because at the end of the day, DOT themselves, you don't need crazy ass crit subsets, right? For example, your crit DPS, you not only want to dedicate your crit rate, crit damage, right? Get a good amount of subs, get a good amount of your matrix effects. DOT literally can just exist, and the DOT effect will just apply. All you need is just speed and effect accuracy, somewhat similar to Honkai Star Rail Super Break as well as Honkai Star Rail DOT, but we're not going to talk about Honkai Star Rail DOT, where you need a lot lesser of a barrier to entry to get your team clearing the endgame content, right? The barrier to entry into clearing all of these endgame Inferno shell farming stages is a lot lower. So even though Aurora changes has been implemented for your Shadow Sania, this is not applicable to a lot of other things that players are still farming, right? So that is pretty much it. Shadow Sania, before you guys think she's completely useless because she's not ranked high in the tier list and nobody uses her, just know that as of this point, the current Inferno clears for your shell farming, they are almost non-existent outside of DOT. Because Inferno difficulty in this game for your shell farming is so goddamn difficult that your traditional crit DPS cannot keep up. My initial thought of like raising up my Rosa, so I was thinking to myself, okay, I got myself the Rosa from the selector. I'm gonna farm Nico Nana very easily in Hell mode, and probably I'm gonna be using my Rosa in Inferno, because why would I think Inferno wouldn't work when I'm gonna be using the exact same DPS that I use for Hell, albeit probably giving her a little bit more of a matrix investment. Turns out I didn't see a single Rosa clear in this entire team. Who y'all should be considering on the reset for if y'all think it's because that your Shadow Sania is unusable? Me personally, I'm actually gonna be resetting my Marvel. I think Marvel's usage has been cut extremely high compared to CBT, because one of the reasons why Marvel was so good is that not only was he excellent as an opener in PvP, he was also used in a lot of these endgame PvE farming stages. For example, your Termaton, right? And then the action matter, the turn meter thingy happened. You know, you have a 60% reduction in effectiveness, making units like Marvel and even Lien a lot less effective in this kind of like PvE farming stages. So in PvE, Marvel kind of got guarded ever since CBT, right? The live version already changed. This didn't happen after the game launch. We already know after CBT ended, Marvel was no longer going to be as good in PvE story. But even in PvP, nowadays, I don't even think he's going to see a light of day anymore going much with all the new units coming out. So you have Holden, you have Ho Yan, which are kind of like Andy Cleave. You have your units like Mio, which is technically the Marvel, but a better version, right? So this unit is basically Marvel Pro Max. Except that she needs a shit ton of lattice investments, which I don't have. But as of this point of the game, I literally don't see a usage for Marvel in both PvP usage, because either he's getting banned, like the moment I pick Marvel, he's almost instantly banned, or he's just straight up not getting picked because there are actually better alternatives to Marvel at this point. So for example, Claus can outspeed Marvel, Mio can outspeed Marvel, I'm pretty sure Lily can also outspeed Marvel, and outside from like very niche scenarios, I don't think he's gonna be that crazy important, at least when you want to combine the value of both PvP plus PvE within a unit, especially as a free-to-play player, which in my opinion should always prioritize on PvE first before PvP. So me personally, I'm going to be killing my Marvel. I'm going to be giving all of his purple Ladius into my Valerian. I think Valerian is absolutely fucking insane as a... Where the hell is she? I think she's absolutely fucking insane, especially when you get this to S5. You can kind of use her in every single one of the sustained categories. Even in PB, I think this is going to be very good because, you know, during the ultimate phase, your team literally cannot die. We have +1 life. So I'm going to be doing that. And then rest of the Matrix as well as the Tracers, I'm probably giving all into my Kazuyo, so that I can actually farm Hell for Doki Doki a little bit more consistently, right? So let me know what you guys think below. And one last thing before I bounce off. Is it just me? Or is this event completely fucking rubbish. Because I swear to fucking God, there's no way I'm clearing this shop. Or am I playing this event wrongly? Because this event is ending in 3 days and 19 hours. Outside of the Evolution Lattice, combined with the current thing I have, which is currently blocked by gamersubs.com and using code POKE with 10% off, you can use code POKE with 10% off all gamersubs, right? I have a grand total of 1,615 tokens. This event ends in 4 days. There is literally no fucking way I can clear the shop as a free play. I don't know if it's just me and I'm playing something wrongly, but this doesn't make sense to me. When an event shop, which is clearly having an exchangeable limit, is not able to exchange for the holding. Check the boxes on the reward track line. Bro, I know these two are... Bro, I've been clearing these 3 every single day. I don't have enough, guys. I literally don't... Check the box on the line. Oh my fucking God. You are saying that there's a chance you can get 25? Okay, but that aside, box or no box, my fundamental point is still this. Is there any... Like, I'm not playing this event wrong, right? I just literally... It's impossible for me to clean out this event shop. Because this is literally ending, and I only have 1.6k tokens. Like, it can't just be, right? Okay, at most after like 3 days, 3.5 days, I can clear out the red shell print. But I just don't think there's any way I can clear out the pools, the stabilizer, the orange, the advanced, the... It's not... It's the same, right? Okay, so this event is kind of fucked. Okay. Okay, that's pretty much it. Unless I spend money and buy this. Which is not even going to change anything because it's only 10 rows. It's only 10 rows. I don't even think even if you buy this, I'm pretty sure no one can clean out this shop. Yep, I don't know if it's just me, but just a quick little thing. Alright, anyways, bye-bye.